First, what do you make of the Justice Minister's decision to release the three junglers?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Lamin. It was last Friday when a delegation of victims went to see the minister, ABUBACARR TAMBEDOU, Honorable ABUBACARR TAMBEDOU. Why we asked for the audience was that days before there was an interview in QTV saying he was saying that there might be a possibility of granting them bail or even release. So we were really confused because as victims we thought that before making such important decision, we should be consulted and ask us even to, comment about it, to bring arguments about it so that we can defend ourselves of not to release or even not to give bail. But it's like the decision was already made. When we went there, he said that they were going to be released. We thought that it was going to be on bail, like also the bail condition release, but it was going to be released with certain conditions, but not like a bail condition. So those conditions, we didn't have the details of those conditions. So what happened is they already decided, and what we understood was that they couldn't rescind that decision, and we should sort of have their back in doing it. And for us victims, that we will never accept perpetrators that committed those crimes against us walking free.
So let's clear one or two things first.
Yeah.
This meeting on Friday, was it born out of you reaching out, you victims reaching out to the Minister of Justice, or the other way around?
He wanted it and we wanted it too. So both parties wanted that meeting to happen. So both of us engaged each other.
So at the meeting, the victims flatly rejected the idea of having these men freed.
Of course, we said clearly that we really don't want them to release them and appeal at the same time, trying to give them reasons why they shouldn't be released. And those reasons, all of us know it. They are confessed killers. They cannot be released free in our societies. Who wants a murderer living in your street or even be your neighbor, to be honest? Everybody that does a crime should pay for his or for her crimes. That's why we are living in a civilized society. So if you take that from us, you cannot bring any sense in doing that action. I heard today the statement made by Dr. Cisse, and I really don't agree with that statement because they did it without consulting us, and at the same time, truth-telling. If you want people to tell the truth, I can understand. You go for others that are not mass murderers, but how can you, free people that already accepted committing more than 40 murders?
So you went to the Justice Minister, you rejected the idea, and today he came out, doubled down on his decision, and then said he's going to release the three gentlemen nonetheless. Were you surprised at all?
I wasn't surprised because the tone he was using on Friday, because I'm a philosophy student, French philosophy student, we learn a lot about people's tone. The way you talk says a lot about the person. And that day, how I listened to what he was saying, it gave me an idea that this was a done deal.
But
So-
he said something very interesting today. He said he's doing this in your interest, in the interest of the victims, in your long-term, as he put it, long-term interest. Do you agree?
I understand where he's going with that, but let's think about it again. We are not wanting the truth to come out. Of course, we want the others to come and tell the truth, but there are millions of other ways to do it than releasing them. So why don't we sort of explore, all those other ways before you take such drastic measures, releasing them out? That's what I was trying to say. Let's have a sit and with others that are really specialists about this kind of situations and be advised. But I don't think that they really give it a lot of thought. And that breaks my heart because it's something that we've been fighting for, justice, for 22 years. In my family's case, for Korosise, is more than 15 years for my family, and Korosise, more than 15 years. And the list goes on. So how can you, what they did is like shattered, is like trashed away all those years of fighting to bring these perpetrators, to the book, and all of a sudden they are released. So how should we take this?
And then one of the men who will be released is someone who, in fact, admitted to murdering your father. Should you meet him in the street? Will you shake hands with him? Will you greet him?
Just to give you an idea, I never even wanted to be present that day because I sort of had an idea what was coming. So imagine if I didn't even wanted to meet him there. If I was to meet him in the streets, to be honest, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what my emotions, will drive me to do. Man, they did something that, you won't have an idea until it happens to you, until you're in my shoes. But you can stay there, you can say whatever, because you are not one. You are not a victim. You are not Mami Sise, that the son was killed so gruesomely. You are not Aisha Jame, that the dad also another, victim. The list goes on. So this can be chaos. This can backfire. A lot of consequences will happen because you can think about something and plan it a certain way, but it can come out all wrong, because you cannot control what will happen. You don't have that control in your hands, So that's why certain decision, in my opinion, they should have really consulted not only victims, but also others that might have better ideas than releasing them out. That's my take.
Mr. Hydra, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.